Well, I was had fallen asleep on the couch, and I woke up, so I was dozing a little bit, and I usually have to get up to feed some little critters that I have, and I thought I'd put some wood on the fire, and all of a sudden I heard a split second of like a hum, and then I all of a sudden heard a very loud plane engine. Sounded like that it was probably having some engine difficulty. I'm only speculating, so I don't know what was going on. But it sounded like it was, I can best describe it as a former flight nurse, as the pilot sounded like it was maybe throttling up to perhaps gain some elevation. Simultaneously with the throttling up, I heard a very loud backfire sound. The engine sounded like it was sputtering a little bit, and then I heard, a couple more smaller backfires. I thought it was going to hit the house, but it went directly over the center of my house, and I knew that it was in trouble, so I immediately grabbed my phone and dialed 911, but before I could even connect with the dispatcher, I heard a loud whomp, is what I can describe, just out back of my house. I didn't see, any lights, fire, anything like that. I told my kids about it. They heard it. They came running, and so we got our snow clothes on, and we just started hiking around the property trying to find the crash site. I knew that it was traveling from south to north, and of course it was snowing quite a bit last night, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. It wasn't overly windy, but it was difficult to see because it was snowing. And so we just hiked around for a couple hours trying to find the site. I can see where the site is now, and my daughter and I walked past it probably within 20 feet twice, and we could not see it. That's how bad the visibility was. And so I knew it was going to be not a good scene. And so when it was finally located, we were already in that vicinity because we had been foot searching for it. And the officer, said there were no survivors. And it's really tragic being a former flight nurse. It's an inherently dangerous business, and it attracts a special kind of person to perform those duties. It sounded to me like the pilot was working hard to maybe get that plane running or save it. I'm only speculating, of course, but just from the sound of the plane when it went right directly over my house, it sounded like it was in my living room. My house was shaking, and it sounded, the distortion and the sound sounded like the plane was maybe slip skid pattern, rocking and rolling. So I knew it was in trouble. But my heart goes out to the family of all the people that were on board. And so we just need to keep them in our prayers for sure. But I can attest from my previous experience as a flight nurse, it's dangerous, but it's just something that they do. And they would have done it anyway, even when the weather's bad, because that's who they are.